Hello, my name is Ian Summers, and today I'm going to be teaching you about conflict management, one of the most important skills any engineering student can master. First, we're going to have a general overview about conflict, then identify some common causes of conflict, then delineate between good and bad conflict, and finally, articulate some strategies for dealing with conflict. So, let's get started. My personal experience tells me that students, and undergraduate engineering majors are no different, tend to experience conflicts in all walks of life. However, they also don't recognize the potentially positive outcomes of conflict and therefore tend to ignore and avoid it altogether. This is neither productive nor healthy, as it means that conflict only gets worse, not better within group dynamics. So conflict management is an invaluable skill for any engineering student to have. There are many different causes of conflict, the most common of which is simply just having a diverse array of opinions within a group. Personality clashes are bound to occur. However, communication failures and even organizational breakdowns can sometimes also create group conflict. Point being, conflict within a group is simply unavoidable. You just have to learn how to deal with it. As this chart shows, however, groups that have low or no level of conflict are just as dysfunctional as groups with high level of conflict. The reason for this is that when a group is unwilling to engage in any form of conflict, they're not exchanging ideas or opinions, and therefore the best potential process or product is oftentimes overlooked because the best ideas just aren't articulated. So what is this difference between good and bad conflict? Let's go over the good. Task conflict is a good, healthy form of conflict. It inspires creativity and improves team effectiveness. The reason for this is because the conflict is solely related to the task or project at hand. Nothing is personal. Therefore, people are allowed to openly express disagreements over what is the best potential way to tackle the project, and this allows a healthy exchange of ideas, and oftentimes leads to better group cohesiveness and decision quality in the long run. It needs to be expressed and explored. However, there is a bad form of conflict, interpersonal conflict. What this does is it's simply not related at all to the task at hand, but instead is solely about personality differences with other people within the group. These tend to divert energy from the issue or activity and drains a group because it promotes hostility and disunity. Interpersonal conflict needs to be identified, discussed, and reduced as quickly as possible. Otherwise, it threatens to tear a group apart. So, how does one deal with different kinds of conflict? There are two main strategies. The first is to collaborate and negotiate. The second is to communicate ethically. So what does collaborate and negotiate mean? What that means is that you come in with the intention of collaborating with another individual. That means that you're willing to communicate your feelings and positions, you're willing to define the conflict on mutual grounds, you're willing to take the other person's perspective, and you're willing to negotiate and compromise. If you're willing to do these things, chances are you will typically manage the conflict in a healthy and productive fashion because both sides are coming in with an open mind and are willing to take on the issue on equal footing. The other way of addressing this is by communicating ethically. What this means is that you treat everyone with respect and politeness. Most importantly of all, you do so honestly. You speak with good intentions, you're asking questions with legitimate curiosity, not with the intention of undermining someone, and you're willing to openly express disagreements in a respectful fashion rather than simply talking behind someone's back. There are other ways to communicate ethically as well, particularly within the group process. What this means is that you're not willing to cut other people off, you're making sure that everyone is included. If someone wants to confidentially express a particular opinion, you're willing to respect that. Most importantly of all, though, you're acknowledging others' viewpoints and you accept them as a very real phenomenon, not simply as something stirring up trouble. If you're willing to collaborate, negotiate, and communicate ethically, chances are you'll probably be able to address any form of interpersonal conflict within a group. So, this is Ian Summers, and this was a short lecture on conflict management.